More headlines out of Elon Musk's Twitter deal. Speaking at a Financial Times conference, Musk saying he would reverse the Twitter ban on former President Donald Trump, and that it was not correct to ban him in the first place. Musk also saying that best case scenario, a deal for the social stock could be done in 2 to 3 months. Stock doesn't really agree with Elon Musk, Karen.
No, it doesn't. I mean, as far as risk-arb spreads go, this is really, really wide, which I always find interesting considering he is the richest man in the world. But basically, Twitter right now is just a Tesla play. If Tesla really falls out of bed, then this spread will get wider. He theoretically could close it in that short amount of time if he doesn't get a CFIUS review or something like that. And I just saw, crossing the tape, Apollo looking to lead $1 billion round of financing. So it should be doable. It really trades like he's kind of a joker. But I think the deal will go through, but I'm not long it as an ARB because you don't know the downside. It's not just a broken deal back to where it was. Does he then get out of his stock? That would be really bad.
It's interesting that Elon Musk is going out there, Dan, with all these things that he would do if he were CEO, as if the deal is going to close, including reversing that ban on Donald Trump, which he says Jack Dorsey does, in fact, agree with him on.
Yeah, I mean, Jack seemed obviously very conflicted about all of this. They waited until people died in a violent insurrection in our capital and, to ban him. And he had broken their terms of service for trust and safety on numerous occasions over the prior 5 years. So obviously Jack didn't want to do it. I don't get the whole, free speech sort of thing. I mean, when you think about it, this is a platform that's not even allowed in China. We know that's an authoritarian regime that Musk has actually cozied up to very, very closely as it relates to his interests with Tesla, the factories there. It's a huge market for them. So he seems a bit conflicted to me. And as far as his timetable about getting the deal closed, I think one of the things that we could all agree on about Elon Musk, he's not that good with timetables as it relates to. So the longer this thing goes and the more risk to Tesla stock to the downside, to Karen's point, this thing is not likely to happen. 5420 is not going to make it, people. I don't know why anybody would agree that he should pay 7 times sales for this company when some of its much better comps, like a Snap or something, is trading below that. The longer that 5420 bid sits out there and the lower a comp like Snap goes, I think the more interesting a pairs trade looks. Long Snap, short Twitter. We know what the upside risk is, but we also know that the likelihood of this thing being ratcheted down is probably going to happen and come into a theory.
Well, we've got like no more daylight left in the show, but I have to push back a little bit, Dan, in that, is that fair to say he's cozying up to China for Tesla, and that's sort of contradictory. We've got a lot of U.S. companies that are, big presences in China that are depending on China for the next leg of growth, and they say that they believe in free speech and human rights and all these different things.
But he's going out of his way to buy this asset, Mel, because he's using the case of free speech. And when he first came out, he said he doesn't really care about the economics of it. So he's a free speech warrior. Listen, I just think there's a lot of conflicts there.